Hi everyone, welcome back to the Diabetic Diet Show. Today we're going to talk about cooking up bacon. I know a lot of people like to cook it on the stove, makes a mess, cooks too fast. The better way, like you do in a restaurant, is to cook it in an oven. So I have the oven preheating right now to 400 degrees. And all I'm going to do is take my scissors and I'm going to cut the package in half. It seems to work better if you cook a half a slice of bacon. So with that done, we're going to start out with a broiler pan. Then I'm going to use a flat sheet frying pan and show you that, as well as I'm going to use the small broiler pan that comes in the new wave oven. So each one of these cooks differently. The broiler pan works best if you put it on the bottom, so it's closer to the heat on the bottom, where a flat metal sheet works better if you put it on the upper burner. So what I'm going to do is take the time, I'm going to lay all these out on these two sheets just right next to each other, and as you can see I'm wearing gloves because I like to handle the food with the gloves rather than my fingers. And after I get all these laid out, I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll throw it in the oven. It typically takes about 25 minutes, depends on your oven and temperature and stuff. I have a brand new stove oven combination. It's going to cook pretty fast. This is going to be my first time using the new wave. I never cooked the bacon in my old new wave, the round one. I mainly use that for chicken and pork chops. So this is going to be usually how I do it. And this is the way I've done it in the past when I didn't have a broiler pan. And of course, if you have two broiler pans, because we used to get them with every stove, and you may have a collection of more than one, which works fine because then you can put one on the top burner and one on the below and the bottom burner. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use these two different pans to show you what it looks like. And they're going to cook differently, so you're going to keep an eye on them. You know, cooking means to heat. Sometimes it's about the recipe, but the majority of the time, cooking is about the heating process. And you have to keep an eye on things. Generally, what I do is I clean the kitchen, I clean up the dishes that I use to prepare the food while it's cooking, and then I keep an eye on it. I very rarely would leave anything cooking in the kitchen and walk away from it. If I remotely did anything like that, I would for sure leave the kitchen light on to remind me something is cooking. I can tell you that I have ran off to answer the phone while something is cooking, and it doesn't turn out well. So I recommend keeping an eye on what is cooking. And of course, as a retired firefighter, I recommend having at least a box of baking soda, baking powder in the kitchen. Baking soda seems to work better in case there's a fire and you need to dump it on something. Have a fire extinguisher. I have a 5-pounder sitting right next to me here in case something happens. And it does from time to time. But if you do burn something, never take the pan out of the stove or oven. Always leave it where it's burning. Don't take it and try to move it outside. Leave it on the stove or in the oven, and then put a lid on it. If you have, all you have is a towel, you can put a towel on it, but I like just to put a lid on it and the fire will go out. Okay? I have everything all set, ready to throw it in the stove and the oven. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes and then I'm going to come back and check on it. Throw it in the new wave. The new wave, we have our choice of bake. So I'm going to hit the button on bake, and then I'm going to increase the time. And the temperature. The temperature I'm going to raise up to 400. In all honesty, everything cooks better at 400 degrees. You wonder why things taste so good at a restaurant? A restaurant cooks between 400 and 500 degrees. Like, for example, when they cook a steak, they throw it into a broiler that could be like 1500 degrees. And it's only in there for a minute per side, then they'll pull it out and throw it on the grill. But it's cooked before they put it on the grill. So cooking is all about the heat. So let's go ahead and let this go, and then we'll check on it in a few minutes. Okay, the new wave has just beeped and it's all done. I have to tell you, this thing really cooks nice. Everything that is a tool in your kitchen has a purpose where it works better or worse than something else. So this cooks fast and cooks it well. So this is going to be my bacon that I use to crumble up for on top of salads. And then what's in the oven, I'm going to bag it up. I have Ziploc bags that I get and use it to store chicken and stuff in the freezer that I buy in bulk. I pre-season it. But in this case, when the bacon cools, I'm going to fill up these bags and then put it in the freezer, and I'll have it when I go to cook something. You want to make a BLT, you want to make breakfast, pull it out of the freezer. You can put it in the pan that you just cooked your eggs in for a few seconds. It'll warm up. You can throw it in the microwave for a few seconds and it'll warm up. But the bacon in the oven, that's going to be our main ingredient. So let's go grab that next. It is hot. So here's the bacon that came out of the top of the oven, and I can set it right on this. This is my new concrete countertop. The broiler pan is a unique design where the grease goes down into the bottom of it and doesn't sit in the top like it does when you use this type of pan. So, and of course, they're real hot. They're 400. I just took them out of the oven. As you can see, this is probably looking the best. And what I'll do is I'll capture this bacon grease. I have a container for it that you put the bacon grease in, and it strains the bacon grease and the grease drips into the bottom, and then I'll save and I'll use that for cooking. I don't do it a lot because I mainly use olive oil, but I do have vegetable oil in case I ever need it. This is the bacon grease recovery that you have. Nice lid, nice strainer on the top. See the perforations? And then the grease goes in here, and all you have to do is dump it in here. I'm going to set it in the sink and do it, not take a chance of making a mess. But that's bacon for today. Thanks for watching. Stop back. See you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Almost forgot. Click on the subscribe button. Also click on the little bell, so when we do a new video, you'll get notified that there's a new video. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.